What's going on, guys? What's good? What's good? Mans, what kind of car do I drive? If you don't mind me asking, I drive a Range Rover. Upgraded from the 4Runner, but yeah, I got a Range Rover Velar. Finally treated myself to something nice. God, that's such like an asshole way to come on the stream. Mans, what kind of car do you drive? Oh, just a Range. Just sound like a tremendous asshole, so I apologize. I definitely apologize, but that was like the one nice thing that I've ever bought. So, what's going on, guys? What's going on? Logan, what's going on? Andrew, what's going on? Good stuff today, brother. Appreciate that, man. Andrew, I think I saw you killing it in the Discord. Hey, mans, I just subbed to the Patreon. I don't know if the May promo tiers have access to the Discord year or if it's on my end. You should have access. What's going on, guys? Mazel tov, what's good? Isaac. Felix, what's going on, guys? When is coming the promo link? If you want the promo link to the Discord, you can DM me during the stream and just DM me the word promo, and I'll send you the link. It's 15% off this month. So instead of $129, it's $109. If you want the Discord link for the promo price, you got to DM me during the stream, though. You have to DM me during the stream, and it's only the first 100 people. So there's going to be like 300 or 400 people on this stream, so definitely would do that sooner rather than later. So again, you can just DM my primary Twitter account, and we'll send you a DM with the promo link. What's going on, guys? Good evening at this point. Good afternoon. What am I on? Good evening. What's going on, guys? Stream is live. What is good? What's going on, guys? Good evening. These 9 p.m. streams, they never get old. What's good? What's good? Thanks to you, good sir. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Hey, mans, haven't been trading for a while. May need to make a comeback to the room. Come on back. We're having a blast in there. Today was probably top 5 day of the year. I'm not even going to lie. It was so much fun. Wow. Let's see if we get the camera to focus. There we go. Bang. Is now a good time to short Apple? I don't know. Maybe. Sorry, guys. I'm getting the link posted for the patrons as well. There we go. What's going on, guys? Good evening. Good evening. Yo, what up, mans? What's going on, guys? GN. I'm going to put you guys on before we get started. If you want if you trade in like an office, it gets a little musty in there sometimes. It's a little bit musty sometimes. I'm going to put you guys on a little Village Candle, the Fraser Fur. It's mucho gas. Perfect. Keeps the office smelling like Christmas. Swear I got this candle 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Had my best 3-day stretch of the year. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the stream. Gonna give everyone like 3, 4, 5 minutes to get in here. Candles and home goods are fire. Absolutely true. Alfred, what's going on, guys? Good to see everyone. Let me know. Let me see you in the live chat, guys. As always, if you're tuning into the stream for the first time, welcome, guys. Love doing these. Please make sure if you guys enjoy these streams, if you want to keep seeing more of them, all I ask is that you toss this stream a like. It's right below the stream link, and you'll see that little like button. It literally takes you about 1.5 seconds to hit that like button, and it is a massive help to us, and it allows us to keep doing these streams. Really helps out that YouTube algorithm, and I appreciate it more than you guys know. So if you guys don't mind, take that 1 second, slam that like. We got, I think, over 250 likes last time, trying to set a new all-time record on the stream like. So if you're in the stream, take that 1.5 seconds, go slam that like button because it means the world to me, and I would really appreciate it. So if you like these streams, please don't hesitate on doing that. We got a little stream snack as well. What's going on, guys? Yeah, my earnings lotto, anybody's wondering, my earnings lotto got absolutely smoked, but that's okay because I had my second best day of the year. So earnings lotto or not, great day. What's going on, guys? What's going on? What's going on? We're going to get started here in about 1 minute. Trying to let everybody hop in. How's everyone's day? Solid? Great day. I mean, the market is back in full force. And this is, we have not seen opportunity, liquidity, and just action like this in I don't even know how long, especially within growth. I mean, just insane moves today across the board, right? Carvana, nutty, UPST, insane, right? Just crazy moves, crazy moves, right? Across the board. It's been wild. It's been wild. I think today, I mean, the VIX was down 10% today, right? UVXY just nuked. And so today was a big move. ARKK, really nice extension of the upside. Beautiful. Couldn't have asked for better action. Here we go again. What's going on, guys? What's going on? We are live on stream. Like I said, if you guys, a lot of people asking about Discord in the chat and DMing me. If you guys want an invite to the Discord and you want the promo price, all you have to do is shoot me a DM while you're on the stream here. There's 100 promo spots left, I think. Actually, less than. I think there's like 52 promo spots left. But the first 52 people to DM me the word promo, we're going to send you guys the link during the stream, and that'll give you the 15% off. So it'll be $109 instead of $129. The price goes up at midnight tonight for the Discord. So that includes live streaming every single day like I'm doing right now. We're going to do a stream like this every single morning. I'll cover my top focus setups for the day. We'll live trade from 9 o'clock until 11. And then we will, obviously, like I said, it comes with a lot of added benefits beyond that. But obviously, like I said, those are the two primary setups. Totally worth it. Appreciate that, Santiago. Good to see you. First day in the room. Mans, am I hiring? Not at the moment. Fully staffed as of right now. What's going on? Google setup is nice. I haven't looked at Google. Does it look good? Ooh, Google does look good. Wow, really impressive consolidation here on Google. That's a good eye. That looks nice. Really clean consolidation here. It's going to be interesting to see how this breaks, right? I think it's had a lot of trouble with that 125 area. Where's the beard at? I know. I took off the beard to start June. I took off the beard. It was getting really long. I started like trimming it, and then it got all messed up. So I don't have the glasses tonight either. I'm going to try to do a little professional stream. It was helping keeping the market running. Just joined. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Best part of the day, 9:15 to 11 a.m. My real job takes second place. Gregory, I appreciate that. We always have a blast in the room. Happy to have you. No Vipers tonight. No Vipers tonight. Good to see you. Look left. Great to see everybody. Looks like we've got a full crowd jumping in here, guys. A little over 300 people in. Love to see it. Let's go ahead and kind of get started. First off, if you guys don't know me, obviously my name is Lorenzo, a.k.a. Mans. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to tune into the stream tonight. Obviously, I host these live streams usually, once a week. I try to go over some of my top focus setups and tickers that I'm going to be looking at for the day ahead. Heats or Nuggets? I'm going Nuggets. I'm going to ride with Denver. But I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully, you take some value away from this stream. If you like the stream and you'd like to see more of them, please do me the very small 1-second favor of slamming that like button down below. Really helps us a lot and allows us to continue to keep doing these streams. And if you have not yet subscribed, guys, we are getting so close to 14,000 subscribers on YouTube. I would love to hit that milestone, maybe even tonight. So please do not forget to slam that subscribe button as well as hitting that like. It really helps us out a ton. So with that being said, guys, I kind of want to welcome everybody to the stream. A lot of people are asking about Discord spots. I'll cover that one more time. If you'd like an invite, you can DM me the word promo on my Twitter while we're in the stream, and I will send that over to you. As we get into things, guys, give you a little quick breakdown of how the stream is going to go. So we are going to start with kind of going over exactly how I build my watch list the night before. The reason that I like to do that is I think it provides you some nice insight on how I scan for plays and how I start looking for things. I trade the same, 15 tickers every single day, and usually it's the same 10. And so I'm going to kind of go through the names that I like the most going into tomorrow, and then really give you kind of an inside look into why I'm looking at those and break down how I start, building my watch list each and every night. So that's going to be kind of the plan. I'm going to cover 3 tickers that I like for tomorrow and why I like them. and then we'll kind of go from there. So really appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to try to hit a new all-time high on those likes on the stream tonight, so please don't forget to slam it. And then at the end of the stream, guys, I will give probably like 15 minutes of just Q&A. If you have any questions for me, you can ask them in the live chat. I'll try to answer as many as I can. But like I said, we'll do some Q&A at the end. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get started, guys. It's 9 p.m. on the nose. All right, so quickly, I want to cover, obviously, guys, the large cap space was a little bit more choppy today, right? SPY had that kind of larger scale move up at the start of the day, right? And then we just kind of had that consolidation. We did break up towards that 422 level. And then we sold off, right, off of 423. Right? So if we look at the daily on the S&P, it looks constructive to me, right? Still, Apple making new highs. However, we did kind of top out at that 423 area if we look at the hourly, right? So quickly, I want to start off by saying this, right? First things first, the way that I start building my watch list every single night is by looking at the hourly chart. The hourly chart is my Bible personally. It is where I draw my conviction from. It is where I, identify those pivots that I really want to be watching. And that's just what works best for me. Everybody's personality is different. And so you should probably have your own system. But I'm personally telling you what has helped me the most. And that is just identifying those key pivots on the hourly and then using them right throughout the day, intraday, on those shorter time frames as far as my entries and exits go, right? But that's really kind of the time frame that I find to be the sweet spot, right? Somebody asked, which do you prefer to trade, Google or GOOGL? GOOGL, personally. How do I control my emotions during trading? Size down. Just like ate the mic right there. Sizing down is number one way to control your emotions. It is the absolute biggest hack. I hear so many people like have these long lists of this is how you identify emotional control, all this stuff. In my opinion, the best way to have emotional control is to not be overly attached to your position size. And that is my firm opinion and my opinion only. But not being overly attached to your position size should be rule number one, right? If you have too much size, you are going to be emotional in the decisions that you're making, which is going to lead to bad trades. So if you're emotionally attached to your position size, you are in too heavy, okay? I like to say that. It is always better to be undersized than oversized, okay? That is how you eliminate emotions. If you are overcomplicating how to eliminate emotions, try sizing down. That would be my opinion, okay? And I'll keep it very simple. That made a great point. Hi right now said, just grab a single contract until you're consistently profitable. Once you do, confidence follows. That is a fantastic tip. That is a fantastic tip, okay? Doing the single contract method, right? If you are trying to learn to establish your emotions and become consistent, the single contract method is fantastic. And I still recommend that to new people that are just like my friends, right? They're like, I want to start options trading, right? Because they obviously I'll let them in the private Twitter. They'll have success originally. And they're like, okay, well, how do I become consistent, right? The number one tip, I'm like, dude, take like 2 or 3 contracts, right? Like expose, $60, $70, right? And then learn, right? That is the best, absolute best way. What is my handicap? Way too high for me to mention on this stream. That's my handicap. What up, mans? Antoine, what's going on? Shout out the size squeens. What % do I put in a trade? This is a great question too. We're getting some great questions right off the bat, so I'm going to try to answer them and kind of keep the dialogue moving. So personally, like I said for the room, I trade a $30,000 account from an options perspective. For me, sizing depends on market conditions, right? So on a day like today, when things are hot, I will go up to like that 8 to 9% level, right, in terms of sizing. So if $30,000 account, around like $2,700 in a position, right? And if the market is really slow, that'll come down to 5%, right? So I'll be more towards like a $1,500 position, right, on a $30,000 account. So I'm not buying S tomorrow. S absolutely smoked my earnings lotto. If anybody's curious, okay, full transparency, my earnings lotto on S got absolutely smoked. No mercy. But it was, like I said, it was like the second best day of the year for me, so I'm not complaining. Not in your Discord, but your YouTube tips and tweets are helping a lot. Joining again soon. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. It means a ton. What do I use for charting? Weeble's cool. TradingView's solid too. TradingView's solid. Would have thought you would took Lulu. I should have taken Lulu. I don't know why I didn't. My bullish or bearish tomorrow? Neither. I have no bias. But the bulls have been killing it. So trading the upside has been a lot easier than trading the downside going into tomorrow, right? So that's just taking things day by day. I mean, after NVIDIA earnings, I don't blame anyone for taking lottos. That's facts. All right, so let's talk about SPY. We just rattled off some rapid-fire questions in the chat. I love doing that, so I'm going to try to keep doing those when we get good questions. I'll try to answer them, and we can kind of conversate. If you are not taking part in the live chat, please make sure you do. It is over on your right-hand side. You can shoot me a message. I'll do my best to read through it. There's a ton of messages coming in here, but I like to keep the conversation going and interacting with you guys throughout the stream. So don't be afraid to mention stuff in there. There's no stupid questions. I was a beginner too. The reason that I do these streams is because I wish I could have watched someone like myself break things down in an easy to understand way that doesn't, make me feel like I am never going to understand things, because the shit's complicated when you first start, to be frank, and it's really intimidating, and it's okay. There's no stupid questions. I would have sounded like a complete dumbass when I first started, and that's okay, because you're new and you're learning, and that's what it's all about, is learning and getting out of your comfort zone and not understanding things. That's probably one of the most important lessons that you'll learn in this journey, is to be uncomfortable, right? So please don't be afraid to ask questions. Nothing is stupid, and I will do my best to answer it. Okay? Is that cool? Can we agree on that? Oh, absolutely. Yes. Left Discord yesterday and regretting it big time today. Better join back up. What are a good place for short-term position numbers? How long did it take you to be profitable? So I think it's a different time period for anyone, right? I was very hot when I started in options, so I kind of had success right off the jump. I had my fair share of bump in the roads throughout that, right, and adapting to different markets. So I think the market is that's the biggest thing, is it's constantly adapting, right? But like I said, I came into a very hot market when I started trading options, almost 4 years ago now. So totally different market now. Lulu and Go tomorrow. Can we get another volume boot camp? I don't run the volume boot camp. That's Book. But I don't do boot camps or one-on-one any of that stuff. Guys, the only thing that I have is the Discord, which is a monthly thing. And I don't do any boot camps or masterminds or anything like that. I barely have enough time to run the Discord, and that in and of itself is fringe of I have time for it, right? Do I scale out with rigid rules, or when you feel you scale out and let some runners go? Shout out D-Book for real. D-Book's the GOAT. We love D-Book. All right, so I'm going to try to answer some more questions, but personally, like I said, guys, so building my watch list for tomorrow, I'm coming in here. I'm looking at the SPY hourly chart, right? This is pretty clean, right? We've got that big resistance at 423. We could have a potential double top on the hourly, right? So personally, for me, I'm not going to be looking to size on longs until we break through that 423 level tomorrow, right? Because if we don't, I'm going to honestly look for a pullback into 420, right? That 420 level has been huge. We wicked down there. Personally, like I said, I'd want to see that double top resistance on the hourly get taken out before getting heavy longs in terms of large caps. Personally, I did not trade SPY today because of the fact that you had the VIX down 10%. And if you're trading the S&P or the Qs or any of the major large cap indices, and you've got the VIX down 10%, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage because your premiums are already getting nuked. Because the VIX is down 10%, right? So you're fighting against the laws of nature when it comes to trading options if you're, trying to trade SPY options with the VIX down 10%, right? So do I just strictly trade using price action and volume? Honestly, I'm a price action trader through and through, right? I like trading liquidity traps on the 15-minute time frame. That's probably my bread and butter setup. Same thing on the hourly. And personally, yes, I'm a level-to-level price action-based trader. I rely heavily on the tape on level 2. Those are my keys to success, right? And I've spent enough time on the screen where price action to me is king, and price rules all, right? So for me, like I said, the level 2, the tape are two of my biggest utilization tools throughout the day. And if you don't know what I'm saying by the tape, that's the time and sales, right? So prints coming in throughout the day, right? Constantly. And, identifying tape buyers, identifying tape sellers are keys to me, both long and short, right? So really wanted to emphasize that. If you ask anybody in my Discord about how I trade, we just did a really cool live lesson in the Discord this past week where I was like literally breaking down how to identify a tape buyer. I don't know if anybody's in the live chat that can vouch for that, but I literally like walked them through how to spot like the buyer on the level 2 and then watching those prints come into the tape. That is really one of my biggest strengths within the market, and I want to trade where I have an edge, right? So personally, that's why I like trading individual names, because you can get a really good feel for the level 2. The level 2 is like the bid-ask spread, right? The auction that you see throughout the day, right? So if you're using Webull, right, it looks like this that you see throughout the day. So you can see I have my level 2s lined up here, right? And they're correlated with the tickers that I'm trading. What is my biggest tip for reading the tape is going to be find a stock that you know how to like identify, large prints on, right? Like personally, like UPST, Carvana, Tesla. Those are, especially Tesla pre-split. Tesla's harder now. Like the tape isn't as smooth, but pre-split Tesla, you could read the tape super easily. What did I notice on UPST today? That's a good question. So we had a massive trade in the Discord today on UPST. 300% on the 33 calls. They, I think, went at the money. Crazy move. And this was all based on the hourly trend line that we've talked about. I've been harping on this on UPST for a very long time. And so you can draw that hourly trend, right, all the way back to when this move started, especially if we look at like the 4-hour, right? I saw that UPST was coming into that trend line right at the open, and it's not a coincidence, right? Look where we bounced, okay? Very simple here, guys. Draw that uptrend back to the start of this move on UPST, and it's very clear and simple. You guys see that? So that's, I love the 4-hour time frame too, right? Like the hourly time frames are my bread and butter. And so I knew that UPST was coming into that hourly trend and that big 4-hour support. And we've seen a huge move up every single time that we've touched that trend line on UPST, right? UPST was a day trade. Adderall helps me dial into the tape. That's hilarious. But also true. I trade both I like to trade at the money, right? So like, for example, I swung PLTR calls overnight from last night into today, and PLTR was trading at 14.10. I bought the 15 calls. And so my PLTR swing went in the money this morning, and that's when I exited, right? My target on these trades is usually for the trade to go in the money, right? Does that make sense, guys? Like, my target for these trades is for them to go in the money. I don't have social media. How do I get the discount to join? You can DM us on Patreon if you want. That works. That trend line is butter, right? So I think that that's a really good thing to kind of like look at, right? Like I love using trend lines like this on larger time frames, especially on individual names. And UPST was clean and easy. I mean, look at the 4-hour candle that we printed off of this trend, right? I mean, what does that tell you, right? When you see buyers come in like that, it's telling you that the market, that there's still a very high demand, right, for that trend to build, because you're seeing just such a large scale amount of buyers coming in, right? And if we look at the hourly, you get a better view at that. But I mean, look at the volume that we saw come in, right? And then I've kind of turned this 2970 area into support now, right? Bring a yearly membership to your Discord. Yeah, we could probably do that. Is it wrong to want to buy an extra week of time rather than playing the weekly? Absolutely not. No, buying time is always fire in my opinion. There's always nothing wrong with buying time, especially like after like Wednesday, right? I personally like trading weeklies like Monday through Wednesday. When the market is hot like it was today, I'm going to always prefer to trade the weekly contracts when it's really hot. But that's also because like I'm a very experienced trader, and if I'm risking money inside of options, I'm going to shoot for the highest reward possible with the smallest amount of risk, right? I talk about it all the time, but I see like way too many people oversizing, right? Like they're putting like 60K in options positions. I think it's like, I just don't think there's any risk reward there. Especially you're trading like weekly short-term options. It's like, I don't know. It's just, I really think there's like a risk reward balance that comes into play. I think like options, if you look at why options were created, right, they're kind of like a tool, right, where you can hedge large equity positions either side, right? And so options are created like to basically be a tool to risk small amounts of capital, right? So you can have more exposure. So like, at their core, they're made to not have like large exposure in the sense of how much you have committed in terms of equity. Yeah, we're going to change the like sign up thing next month. Great response. Thanks. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything wrong with buying time, right? But like I said, for me, I personally have been trading long enough where the risk to reward for me, I like more on the weeklies, right? But that's just me. Everybody's different, guys. And I can't say it enough, but everybody's brain is different, right? And so you need to figure out, what does your brain like? Maybe your brain likes to have more time, right? Maybe your brain likes to have a more relaxed feel, and maybe that's what's going to help you balance your emotions, right? Because emotional control is the biggest thing. So whether it's sizing or whether it's time or whether it's, right, like what type of chair you sit in during the day. I mean, I don't know, right? But whatever is going to work for you, you need to find that. And personally for me, I think the two biggest things that are the easiest things to do to balance your emotions are to size down, and another great one is to buy time, right? Don't stress yourself out if you don't need to be, especially if you're new, right? If I'm talking to my friends, like I have a friend from high school, right? And we golf all the time, and he's just started trading options. And I told him to start with like 2 or 3 month out contracts, right? And learn how, contracts for 3 months out move, right? And then bring your way to trading a monthly contract, and then bring your way to trading 3 weeks out, and then 2 weeks out, and then come into like a weekly contract, right? I think that should be like the last step, right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys? I mean, like, let me know in the live chat, but I feel like that should kind of help. Tips on finding a good exit point on your trade. Depends on the market, stop loss or level. If the market's really shitty, I'll have a hard stop at like 20%. But if the market's hot, I'm going to use my levels, right? But also depends like where I'm at too, mentally. Got to recognize when you're hot and when you're not, right? I think that's another big thing. People trying to trade when they're like going through stuff personally, not feeling their best, not the move. How many screens in my setup? Dos. Uno, dos, right? You guys can see yourselves on here. 2 screens on my setup, and I don't need any more. I have 4 or 5 charts up during the day. I'll have like Flow, Discord. If I'm streaming, right, I'll have the live stream up here. I personally am looking at like 3 to 4 charts most of the time, sometimes more, but I've been following your calls. They seem just fine. Hell yeah. Appreciate that. That's awesome. So UPST was a day trade. Zach steals markets money. You're the GOAT. Thanks, bro. I really appreciate that. If I'm playing out of the money, how far do you go? Usually I like to stay within like, depends on the stock, right? But so like Carvana was trading at 14 this morning. I took the 15 calls. UPST was trading at 30. I took the 33 calls. It just depends on how much momentum there is. But I like to kind of stay, $1 out of the money usually, like on these mid-cap names. So like, again, with Carvana, Carvana was trading at 14. I played the 15 calls this morning. And then on UPST, it was trading at 30. UPST moves really fast. So I played the 33 calls because that was my target on the trade. And we hit 32, and those went 300%, whereas like the 30 calls went like 170%. So, out of the money exposure, it definitely exposes you to more upside, obviously more downside as well. But again, if you know the stock like the back of your hand, like personally I do with these, I'm much more inclined to take the higher upside, right, position, if that makes sense. What time frames do I use for entries and exits when day trading? The 5-minute and the 15-minute. I don't use the 1 minute, which I know a lot of people like use the 1 minute now. It's just not my thing. Personally, the 15-minute is where I find I have my best entries, but there's sometimes like off the open where I'm taking an entry off the 5-minute, which is fine. Depends too. If there's really, really high volume going on, I'll use a smaller time frame. Whereas like if it's the middle of the day, like on UPST today, I use the 15-minute, right? Like a good example, like if we look at the UPST 15-minute, right? So we obviously had a really, really clean breakout today, right? But am I following a percentage ROI? No. What are the PC specs? I'm awful, and I have a Mac still. I'm going to get a PC build. If you want to build my PC, hit me with a DM. Willing to pay. No, I was kidding. Seriously, though, I need a really good PC built because I'm rocking the MacBook M1, which it's fine, but I definitely want to get a PC built. All right, scenario I see you do often, you grab 35s, then they go 50%, you scale, then you grab the 40s, and then you keep scaling the 35s. It's a great question, right? So I'm rolling up my position, right? It's a really, really good question. So rolling up is a really like effective strategy of mine. If the trade is going really well and there's continued momentum, right? I'm going to take profits out of the trade, and sometimes I will roll those profits into another strike. Like on UPST today, the 33s went like 150, or I think they were up at the time 200%. I rolled some like lotto profits into the 35C. Those ended up going 150 something percent. Same thing on Carvana, right? I took the 15s for 140%. I rolled into the to the 17C, I think, first, with half the size, right? So I took 1/2 of the profits and risked it, right? Risked it on the next entry with a tight stop, and that's rolling up your position, right, to different strikes. Okay, that 15-minute hammer, how did I know that it was going to continue up? All right, that's a good question, right? All right, so we broke out today on UPST, and he's talking about this candle right here, which was my entry into 1130. Why did I take this entry? We pulled back to that prior breakout level, right? So even though we had that longer toppy wick like that, the volume patterns were still really, really strong right here. And I'll tell you what, guys, this is one of the best setups that you can utilize is when you see names print a long upper wick like that, okay, a lot of people go short on that candle because they think that's like high selling pressure, but UPST held the breakout level, right? So we held that high right at 28.29, and then look at the next two 15-minute candles. This is why UPST continued up, okay? Because you have shorts that come in on this candle right here, right? Because you have this long upper wick, which is a very oftentimes can be a toppy signal. But in this market, right, we are seeing shorts get absolutely rinsed. And the reason that UPST continued up is look at what happened the minute that we closed a 15-minute candle over that high, right? Yes, we printed a toppy wick, but buyers stepped up in the biggest way they had all day long. Look at that volume, right? It was very, very clear that buyers were unrelenting on UPST today. And so the reason that I took the entry there is because my thought process here was we've seen that setup validating over and over and over again, where as soon as they squeeze out past that high that the original candle made, and I knew that through that 30 cycle level, we'd get a big squeeze out, right? And like I said, it was just a really clean entry. My risk on this trade was a 15-minute close under 28.20. So you can see my risk level was right here at 28.20. We held that prior breakout level, and the structure came in. Volume patterns validated it. It was beautiful. Does that make sense? I like longing those setups, right? In this market, when they print these long toppy wicks, but they just buy it up, that's actually a good sign because that means that they're going to squeeze out because the people that went short off that toppy wick are going to have to cover, which is only going to increase the buying pressure to the upside. Does that make sense, Sergio? I think lottos have been very profitable for me, but so a lotto isn't talking about for me the setup quality. If I'm taking a trade, it's an A+ setup to me, right? If I'm taking a lotto, unless like I took one earnings lotto of the year, right? It's no different than a FanDuel parlay. That's a stupid lotto. But in terms of like intraday lottos, that is just a sizing term for me, right? It just means that it's very, very small size, usually 1% account risk on something that's a lotto. And that can be for a multitude of reasons. I don't take full size on 0 day to expiration positions. I rarely trade 0 DTE, but if I do, it's always going to be lotto size, right? And that lotto terminology is kind of iffy. I don't love the lotto terminology, but for me, it's just about sizing. It's just a sizing rule. Plan with Tesla tomorrow. Yeah, Tesla had a really strong day. So Tesla's going to be the top of my focus list today, or tomorrow, excuse me. Really clean, beautiful breakout on the daily, guys. We talked about this. If you saw me, did anybody see my post on Twitter on Tesla? Right? We had just such a clean retest and go setup, right? We broke out of that downtrend on the daily. And so really for me, personally, what I would like to see on Tesla, right, if we zoom in on the daily, is I would like to see a retest of Tuesday's high. Okay, so that was that 204.53. If you look at my Twitter post last night, 204.48. Excuse me. If you look at my Twitter post from last night, I said that 204.50 level, right, was going to be the key trigger for an upside move today. We saw a beautiful move. If you look at the 15-minute, right, once we cleared that level, Tuesday's high was absolutely the trigger. We broke through that, right, and cleared that level, and it was just clean moves to 210, right? So for me, what I'm going to want to see, right, is I would love to see Tesla come back down and retest into that spot, right? So 205 down into that 204.58 zone. So into Tuesday's high, I'll be looking towards longs, right? We had some support today at this 206 zone. Personally, I think the A+ entry would be at Tuesday's high, which is that really tough breakout zone. I would love to see a pullback into 204, 97, 204.50. That would be the A+ add zone. If we hold 206, though, this has a lot of potential to move higher, right? And this has been one of the strongest names. So the weekly looks great. If we clear all drawings, right, the weekly looks super good here. And I mean, it looks like we're at least going to test that 218 level from February, right? 217.65. Wow, that's messy. I'm going to delete all that, actually. It's making my my OCD deep down go crazy. But personally, like I said, ideally, right, there's two kind of layers to this for me. Pullback area number one would be 206.43. Personally, 205, 204.50 would be more of an A+ add zone, but I'm going to watch it. If it's really strong off of 206, I'll probably look at like maybe some like 211 lottos, maybe 212. If we had closed near 210, I would have looked at the 215C, but this looks really good for an upside push, right? Especially, you guys know me, higher time frames are king. So I love how the weekly setup looks on Tesla, right? And so I think we're definitely going to get a test up into that 211, 218 zone, right? So that was our high from the week of March 31st, right? 208. So we clear that 208 zone too, get a test at 217. Tesla's been a beast lately. Jobs data 8:30. Yeah, somebody just said retest 29.7 on UPST. That's exactly right. That's going to be focus setup number 2 for me, right? So what did we see on UPST? What a weekly setup UPST is, right? Also, this is a really good point to make. So someone mentioned and asked me, well, that longer wick, right? Why did I take that setup? This is a really good example of the same exact setup occurring on UPST, but on a higher time frame, right? This is the weekly chart. I guarantee you a lot of people shorted off that candle. Okay. And if we see this week's candle close over the high from last week's candle in that 2970 area, I think you're going to get a relentless squeeze out because there's a lot of people that went short off that long upper wick from last week, right? So that's going to be a really interesting setup for me. But in terms of the hourly chart, 2974 is that retest zone. If we can hold 2974, right, given the way that we bounced off that hourly trend line, I would look for that old resistance, right, from Tuesday to turn into support. And if we start turning 2974 into support, I'm going to be looking for longs. I like the 32 call lottos, maybe even look at like next week's calls, honestly, because that would be a super A+ setup if we hold 2974 really well. Does that make sense? Do I ever average down? Rarely. Rarely, if ever. Averaging down is a horrible habit to get into. Oh, my Lord. Guys, I think I'm getting a little tired here. I'm getting a little tired. Wow. So personally, for me, 2974 is the key on UPST, right? Welcome if you're just joining us, guys. I know there's a lot of new people. Kind of went on a tangent there, going over a couple of different setups. Really appreciate you guys joining the stream. If you guys enjoy these streams, please don't forget to hit the like button right down below, guys. We are almost at 100 likes right now. We're trying to hit a new record on stream likes tonight, so do me a solid. Let's hit that 100 like level on the stream right now. Like, why not? It takes literally 1 second for you to hit that like button down below. A lot of people have been asking about Discord, the promo link in the chat. If you would like the Discord link, you can shoot me a DM on my Twitter and shoot me the word promo, and I will send you the link. It takes like a second, and I will shoot you that link. So just shoot me the word promo, and I will DM you. What's going on, guys? Sweet. 108 likes. Let's fucking go. That's hype. Appreciate you guys. That's awesome. What would be my entry here? 1 hour green candle off support. I'd probably look for an entry off the 15-minute. Google looks good. Large caps just feel like they're still cooling off to me. But I think if Google holds this 122 area, right, we saw a lot of buyers step in off 122 on Google. Personally, I like Tesla out of the large cap setups. This is very wicky price action on Google today. You see these long upper wicks and you're getting long lower wicks too. That's just chop, right? This is chop on Google today. So personally, I want to trade clear and constructive trend. And so instead of trading Google, right, I'd probably rather trade Tesla, personally, right? Because which one looks better to trade to you, right? Can you guys let me know in the live chat? What would you rather trade, this or this? You guys tell me. I would rather trade Tesla too. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Tesla over Google for sure. Absolutely. So that's a good thing too, is to like, I know a lot of people asking about Google. Why am I not as interested in trading it? It's because I like to like stick with names that are, identifying clear trend. Like there were some days, last week, the week before, that Google was moving beautifully. Google is just in a, it's compression. It's in a compression stage, right? Where you're seeing price compress. And so I'd rather trade that expansion stage names like Tesla, UPST, Carvana have just been trading way better, a lot more volatility. No interest in AVGO, no. Personally, so Carvana, a lot of people are asking about. Carvana looks good too. I mean, it's pretty much the same chart as UPST, right? I like the news here with Carvana. That's the difference. Carvana had a really good fundamental headline today, in my opinion. Disclaimer, I am not a fundamental analyst. I don't sit here and claim to be a fundamental analyst, but I know how to read a headline well enough to trade a stock. And so today, obviously, I don't want to read the headline incorrectly, but obviously the S&P upgraded Carvana's credit rating, basically, if I'm not mistaken, which is a big thing because the big concern here was obviously financial feasibility, right? And where they kind of sit. And so when you get, your credit, rating basically upgraded to an extent, that's a pretty good sign for a name that, has all these issues with potential loan defaults, etc. So, saying their loan book looks better is always going to be a good thing for Carvana, right? And that was the headline that it needed to break out. Tomorrow being Friday, would you look at expiration dates for next week? Yes. You see that? That's a big yawn right there, guys. I'm a little tired. I'm not even going to lie. Do we expect a pullback considering the VIX being this low? I think we could definitely see a pullback in the S&P. But, ARK is trying to break out of a really long consolidation pattern. So I'm not going to try to fade these moves until the market tells me otherwise, right? So the big level on Carvana for me to tomorrow. So this is my bias level, okay? And I like to use the term bias level because it gives me very clear direction, right? If we continue to soak 1550, right, every time we came close to that 1550, 1569 area on Carvana, we saw buyers step in a big way. And so for me, personally, I'm going to be using that 1550 level as my key spot. If we retest 1550 off the open on Carvana, right, and this is going to be one of my top focus setups tomorrow, a retest of 1550 on the 15-minute off the open tomorrow on Carvana. If we hold 1550, I'm going to be looking to get long, probably next week calls for a move back towards that 17 level from today, right? High of the day today, 1692. So this is a great focus setup for me going into tomorrow, and it really fits my system. What's the secret to success? I don't think there's any one secret. I think that finding a system that works for you is really important. And I know it kind of sounds like the same old stuff, but I really think that everybody that's listening right now should take some serious time to figure out how their brain works. And I know I've said it like 4 times on the stream already, but every single one of us has a different mental makeup. And understanding your own mental is so important, right? Understanding how you react to certain problems, how you react to emotional decisions, how you react. Like, you need to understand the type of person that you are personally in order for you to really find that consistent, right, like zone to be in. And that zone is very, like, in a very attractive mental state to be in. And it's personally when I trade the best, like, I've kind of been in a zone, right? The past few weeks. And really, I think that identifying when you are there and when you are not is very important, right? So really understanding your mental makeup, take some time to understand how you react to decisions and try to refine that to the best of your ability. And at the end of the day, like, you compile that with hard work, I think you're going to be in a pretty good spot. Does that make sense? Don't look for home runs, base hits. Absolutely. What's my take on Meta? Personal question. Your ball is on the fringe. Are you using your putter or your bump and run with your 7-iron? I'm going to use my putter for sure. Tesla, much cleaner action. Absolutely. Found options because a man's hit age. You 100% my first options did for big gains. There you go. Thoughts on Netflix? Netflix looks pretty solid. I think Netflix has kind of just been in that spot, right? Yeah, broke through 400 today. That was an impressive move on Netflix again. Really impressive move. Netflix has been moving great. I mean, this is a clear, just kind of bull market pattern, right? Come back down, retest. I haven't traded Netflix as much, but as of late. But this is a clean, just breakout. Came back down, retested, made a new high. I'd be watching that 405 level tomorrow for sure. What do I think about Carvana? I just gave my thoughts on Carvana, guys. Pretty clean setup going into tomorrow, right? Personally, I think this thing's breaking out. So here's the reason that I still like Carvana, and this is going to be like kind of the last setup I'm going to talk about, mainly because I keep yawning, and clearly I'm tired because I worked all day. I have not spent that much time at the desk in a very long time. Here's why I still like Carvana, and I want to make this very clear, and this is how I usually find some of my best trades, okay? I like to trade, right, expansion after a long, right, and kind of grueling compression stage, right? And Carvana just compressed for how many days? Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 days inside of a $3 range, okay? For me, this breakout right here, sure, maybe 3 months ago this breakout fails or just stops right here. But as of late, we've been in a more bull market trend. And after that long of consolidation on a stock that tends to run 70, 80% at a time, I'm not going to say this move is done until the market tells me it's done, right? The last time that we did this, we went to 20, right? So I don't think it's crazy to think that Carvana could see that outlier move up towards that 19 level, right? 1680 is going to be key, right? So that's wick number 1 here. It's going to have to get through 1680. If it gets through 1680, I do think we could, see that kind of overextension outlier move into 19. So again, for me, I'm going to keep this on a very close watch, right? But you have to think of compression on the daily chart like that as fuel, right? And the longer that it compresses inside of a range, the more powerful the breakout is going to be, right? And that's always a good rule of thumb. So he hosts pre-market calls for the Discord and then hops on live trading. Yep. Every single morning, guys, in the Discord, we do a stream just like this at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go over my exact trading plan, just like I'm going to do tomorrow. So, and in order to do that, I'm going to have to get some sleep because I need to be at my best tomorrow. But huge volume on the daily. I love this setup alongside Tesla. Those are going to be 2 of my top watches tomorrow. And so those are the focus setups for me. And if there's no A+ setups, I'm definitely not going to force anything after just an absolutely incredible week. So, yeah, I can do a video on reading the tape for sure. So that is going to be my game plan, guys. I really appreciate everybody that tuned in. If you enjoy these streams, don't forget to hit that like button. I'm going to do a tweet right after this. If you guys do want a spot in the Discord for this month, just look for that tweet, and then it'll have the word to DM me. And, yeah, you can shoot me a DM. I'll shoot you a DM back with the invite link. I really appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. As always, guys, I think we hit a new record high for live viewers. We'll see if we get this to 150 likes before we get off stream. But thank you, Vincent. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it, guys. Covered Tesla, Carvana, UPST, and a few others. Make sure you guys check out the entire stream. You can go back and rewind, and it's all recorded. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Peace.